This year, on the MLK holiday weekend, KBLA assigns itself the task of elevating the climate conversation by amplifying the voices of those who are most impacted by the climate catastrophes we are witnessing in real time. Stay tuned for more details. At KBLA Talk 1580, Climate is King.
With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
What we're gonna do now is go back.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, this is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. I, of course, am your host, Jill Munroe. A little Jeanette to get us in there. Hey, yo, the weekend's on. Let me not drop my bars, you guys know. I might do a little something. At any rate, you know that we have so much to get into tonight. We also have a guest. So let me get into the rundown of what we're going to cover tonight on the show. In hour one, you know, last night was what? A catastrophe? Can we call it that? A catastrophe, as Katt Williams obliterated the internet with his commentary in his interview with Shannon Sharpe about fellow comedians, the entertainment industry, and various other topics. Well, of course, there has been fallout. There has been receipts pulled because the internet works fast and hard. They're better than the FBI. They have it locked in. So we're going to take a look at we're going to take a listen to a couple of clips, a look at me, I guess, if you're on YouTube, because, you know, at some clips of Steve Harvey's comedy, Cedric the Entertainer, and some other older clips, and see if you feel like there is a case for maybe an inspiration from these jokes. We won't use the word steal. We'll just say inspired by. We'll take a look at that. You know, there's been a lot of conversation about the release of the Epstein list. It's been released. It's not exactly a list. It's a 900-page documents, which we discussed briefly last night. Well, Whoopi Goldberg and a few others have some words for you people that assume that they were associated with this or somehow connected and on said list. We're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about in hour 3, it's Thursday, so we're going to throw it back a little bit. 90s singer Monifa. In a recent interview, she opened up about her relationship with Queen Latifah back in the 90s. We know that Latifah is very guarded as far as her personal life. She has, you know, not discussed it, but shown us with her actions things that are important to her, respectfully. And so Monifa is offering a little bit of insight into that. And also in hour 3, we have an interview with the cast of Kingdom Business of BET Plus with Yolanda Adams, Loretta Devine, Soraya, and more. And in studio during hour 1, we have our guest, Heir The Prophecy. He is an LA native. You know how I feel about that. LA stand up. We'll get into his story and hear his new single and talk a little bit about that. But before we get into all of that, Of course, we have a couple of conversation starters. These are stories that we don't have time to get into the full details of, but I think you need to be aware. And before I get into those, let me remind you, if you're not already following us on social media, hit us up everywhere, KBLA 1580. Of course, I'm at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Hit me up, say hi. Hit us up in YouTube if you want the visual experience to go along with this audio experience. Of course, the chat is always active, opinionated. And if at any point you want to join into this conversation, feel free to call in 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Shout out to Ghost OG J Speed in the chat. He said, I'm here kicking it with you tonight. Much appreciated. So, those conversation starters. LeBron James, he has dropped into his first high fashion campaign with Louis Vuitton. He is out there looking amazing, of course, showing off duffel bags, various ensembles and looks. LeBron is one of the best dressed NBA players, so naturally he would extend his brand to the fashion brand. His wife, Savannah, showed off a bit of the photo shoot. She also has a brand coming out. If you're not, follow it on Instagram. It's called Girls Who Get It. And it is sort of a mood board in prepping for her coming skincare line. And I think there's going to be some other things in addition to that that are coming together along with it that you want to check out. So they're obviously a vibe. We know LeBron had his 80s, think Studio 84 was the theme of his birthday party January 1st at Hyde on Sunset. Everybody was there, Jay and Beyonce, Draymond Green. Speaking of Draymond, don't know if you heard, he is going to return to practice next week, and he will be hitting the court again sooner than later. Originally, most people were estimating maybe right after the All-Star break, but looks like, we could see him a little sooner than that. No details as to exactly when, but he is expected to rejoin the team next week. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into this topic about Steve Harvey. We're also going to meet our guest, Heir The Prophecy, get into his backstory, plus more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
More when we come forward.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey LA, save water and put money in your pocket with rebates from LADWP. Start saving with free shower heads and faucet aerators. Then save with every flush when you upgrade to a water-efficient toilet and get a $250 rebate. You can also save on every load of laundry with a high-efficiency clothes washer and get a $500 rebate. That's right, LADWP customers can get $500 rebates on qualifying clothes washers. See all the ways to save at ladwp.com/save.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, services and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Thank you so much for rocking with us on this good Thursday evening. So I hope you are comfortable, relaxed. Maybe you have a snack, a beverage, a libation, because it's Thursday. You know, Thursday is my Friday, so maybe you can celebrate with me. At any rate, we're going to get into these trending topics, but before we do, I want to introduce you to our guest for this evening. He is an emerging rapper. We are always happy to bring guests in and introduce you to new music you should be paying attention to and focused on. We have in studio with us an LA native, like I told you. That's important to me. LA represent. We have Heir The Prophecy joining us. Thank you. Welcome to RSVP. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
So first, I have to ask you what part of LA you're from and what high school you went to, because, you know, it's just customary.
So originally I'm from West LA over towards Mid-City.
Okay.
But I really found my footing in Leimert Park area. So
so
I went to Crenshaw High School.
For you. Okay. So you are in the district. You are right here, part of the family. That's amazing. So tell me a little bit about what got you into music and how you knew that that is the career path you wanted to take.
It really started when I was a kid. I felt like I used to always write parody music. I didn't take it seriously until high school. One of my friends, he was making music and he was bringing it to school, and I'm like, man, I could do that. So he's like, all right, come to the house. I got a setup. And the moment I heard myself actually professionally recorded, I was like, oh yeah, that's it.
That's it.
I'm him, yeah.
So are there any artists that you took inspiration from, or is there different genres of music? How did you kind of cultivate your sound?
Well, I kind of tried to black out what I was really into to create my own sound. But heavy influences for me were Nipsey. Mace was my first favorite artist. And then, at the time, Kanye, he was making amazing music with the College Dropout and things like that. So those would probably be the three biggest influences.
So stepping into the hip hop game now in 2023, 2024, what is that experience like for you?
I think it's the same energy, just keep going, keep showing up and keep putting in the work. I don't think nothing changes. It's stay steady on the mission.
So do you still listen to the same artists now that you did then, or are you still kind of I'm focusing on my sound and cultivating that, and so I kind of push others to the side?
I listen to music very minimally. I think I drown out music mostly just because when I'm in my recording process, I don't want to sound similar to anything that I've been listening to. So I want to feel my creative process is a blank canvas and it's all me on there. So,
what are your inspirations for? We're going to hear a single later, a little bit from you, but are you putting together an EP? So where are you at right now in your creative journey?
I am dropping an EP coming around March. It's called Comes With Envy. It's more of just a play off of all my projects line up. So my first project was called Bad Company. Second project is Star Power. And this one Comes With Envy. So Bad Company and Star Power comes with envy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you look at the landscape of music right now, right, And there's been a lot of talk this year because it is the 50th anniversary of hip hop, but it also was the first year, I think it was probably maybe 7 or 8 months before a hip hop song was at the top of the Billboard 100 charts. What do you think the change in sort of the popularity or the appearance of the popularity of the music stems from right now?
I mean, that's a difficult one. I just feel like when I listen to music today, I don't feel like the same hunger that I would say we got like a couple years ago. I feel like people are pretty content in their situation. They're making a lot of money, and it's easy to just put on a show and get paid. So that's the most I can really say about it, is that like people are not as hungry as they seem to be before.
Do you think that emerging talent or under the radar talent is being overlooked, or that it's harder for the discovery process at this point?
Absolutely. I think it's not about the music anymore. I think that's the problem. It's about what's viral and, what has attention, but not like the quality of music. And that's why music is not lasting as long as it used to, is because people aren't, making quality music. It's just, like, oh, this got 1 million streams of him doing something crazy, give him a record deal, and let's kind of milk him for whatever we have.
So, as I choke on water, apologies. I think what we're going to do right now, as my voice goes out, is we're going to check out your single, which comes out next month. And then when we come back, hopefully my voice will be back too, and we'll get more into Heir's backstory.
Really quick. So this single is already out. So the single,
out.
This single is already out. It's called Spend a Lot. It's probably the lead single on the project, and then I do have another single coming out next month.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Spend a Lot.
You know who I am. I don't waste time, you gon' need more friends. I don't waste time, I'ma need my ends. If you talking about a bag, I'ma spin that Benz. I'ma spin that coupe. Driving top down like I lost my roots. My Jill snake skin, I spend a lot on shoes. I spend a lot on jewels, I spend a lot on you. Who hits been high? Chain got rocks, rock Christian Dior. Tell me who flopped, who dropped, and who's top. Infinity coupe with the sun through the rooftop. It really ain't the same on the internet. Prop money, fake flex, shooters on Apex. Really ain't changed yet. Always talking big and be broke in the same breath. I don't understand that. I don't like girls messy. I don't play about my money. I need a bag for these goals like Messi. I need 6 feet deep if you really won't test me. 6 feet like you sick or it's gonna get messy. Real recognize real. I've been turning down deals. It ain't nothing that appeals. Real recognize real. I've been hearing that you hating. I don't care how you feel. You know who I am. I don't waste time. You gon' need more friends. I don't waste time. I'ma need my ends. If you talking about a bag, I'ma spin that Benz. I'ma spin that coupe. Driving top down like I lost my roots. My Jill snake skin, I spend a lot on shoes. I spend a lot on jewels. I spend a lot on you. Can't make me wait no more. I'm too cold, ain't a op that can hate no more. Too fly, I can't even be in space no more. So much work, I don't even wanna break no more. Nah, what you know about AP's bust down? All up in my face like I'm Mace when I touch. Then I bet I make them feel so good. I better make her feel this wood without a life jacket. You know it really ain't a party till we get it cracking. Put the trunk in the front like they made it backwards. I'll be thinking in a different type of tax bracket. Probably why she choosing up, cause her dude capping. Real recognize real, she about to cut him off. She gon' leave him in his feels. Real recognize real, I've been hearing that you hating, I don't care how you feel. You know who I am. I don't waste time, you gon' need more friends. I don't waste time, I'ma need my ends. If you talking about a bag, I'ma spin that Benz.
Okay. We're vibing in studio with Heir The Prophecy. That's his single that is available now. Spend a Lot. I'm feeling that. So we talked briefly about social media and how there's more of a focus on numbers and that aspect instead of the real artistry, so to speak. So how do you, as an artist that is, you're independent right now, right?
Yeah.
How do you get your music out to people? How do you make sure that your discoverability is up and so that they're aware, besides coming on RSVP with Jill Munroe, how do you make sure you spread your message?
You just got to be everywhere. You got to keep showing up, keep showing your face, and number one, believe in yourself, because no one's gonna believe in you if you don't believe in what you're doing. So, just showing up, showing your face, talking to people, networking. That's the most important thing, because a lot of the time too, it's about who you know.
It is about who you know, and we hear a lot about networking and so to speak. Do you find that it is easy to network across? Like, do you tap in with other artists that are local or maybe not even local in other cities and kind of collaborate? Or do you find that it's a little bit more difficult because people are sometimes guarded?
I feel like in LA it's a little more difficult. I've been working with like a lot of artists in other cities, other states, and it's been a lot easier. You get a lot more love, a lot more support. Because I think it's a race out here in LA, and everyone wants to be on the top first. So I would definitely say it's easier to work with people in other places.
They say that, home is sometimes the last to support you once everybody comes in. Do you think that is because people come to LA with a specific goal? Like if they're coming here to do music, they're focused on that, and there's a lot of concern about being taken advantage of or people encroaching on their territory. Do you think that that has something to do with it, or if it's just people come here and pretend they're more than what they are?
I think people come here and then they try to keep up with the idea of what it means to be in LA, because it is like supposed to be the dream, like where you make it happen, and so. But I also think people that come here and they're doing music, they're still a lot more open because of where they come from. People are open. It's more like the nature of people who are native to LA, who kind of like are already seeing people on a daily basis and like, I got to get there first. I got to get there first. And it becomes a competition with your friends instead of like people that are coming over, from other places.
So do you produce too, or do you?
I don't produce.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard that I co-produce. Like if I'm doing something in the studio and I want it to sound a certain way, I know how to do it, but like I've never like completely just put something together myself.
Okay. So, I mean, there's also been a lot of talk this year about the rise of women in rap and female rap taking over. Those are the songs that are like, you had an up-tempo song, which I appreciate, but a lot of the music from on the male side and from the men has been, a little slowed down, not really, I guess, club appropriate, or I don't even want to say TikTok appropriate, even though that can blow. Well, what are your thoughts on TikTok? We'll circle back to what I was going to ask you, but a lot of people make music for TikTok and it blows them up. What are your thoughts?
TikTok it's a bit of a monster. It moves so fast. I put music on TikTok, and with like, my first video went to like 10,000 plays and I had no following. So I was like, yeah, it's crazy, but it's just about like not getting stuck there, because you have to be able to present yourself in the same way that you are on social media. Like if you're not the same person when you are not on TikTok, people won't gravitate towards you, and it won't matter if it's viral.
That is fact. So I was asking about female rap, and a lot of what I've been seeing, like sometimes from DJs in conversation, is that they're making music that is fun, that people can go to the club and have a good time with. And I felt like your song, Spend a Lot, just now, which Heir The Prophecy, Spend a Lot, is an up-tempo, a vibe, something like that. So what is your approach with music right now? And do you feel that way, that right now the women are the one that are bringing the fun and the energy as far as hip-hop?
For me, like my approach is making sure like it feels good. I think that's like the most important thing, and it's like I'm not trying to make something for like one specific audience, but like something that's going to be global. I think, with women in rap, like when you look at how music is streamed and things like that, like when you go to the club, men gravitate to whatever the women are gravitating to. So if women are just making what they love, it makes sense. Like they're just kind of like saying like, this is what I like to hear, so I'm just gonna get creative with that and kind of make it my own. So I think that's kind of mostly what it is. But women are definitely dominating, and I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
Is there a female artist that you would like to maybe one day collaborate with, or you hear her stuff and you're like, yeah, I'm with that?
Yeah, I would say for sure, Cardi, Lotto, I like a lot, and this one, she's not really rap, but I like Tim's.
Okay, okay. So you have a vibe. I like that. That's a good mix. So, first of all, I didn't ask you, where can people find your music? Because that's important.
On all streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms.
Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, wherever you can find music, you can find me.
And where's your social media? Because we got to tap in with that.
Yeah, everything's Heir The Prophecy.
Okay. So getting back to hip hop, being that it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop, do you tap back into like old school artists? Do you ever revisit some of the catalogs or any of the artists that are considered, the pinnacles of the old school? Is that something you look into, or are you just forward thinking?
Absolutely. I think it's important to like touch back with the roots. And, even with Spend a Lot, like I wanted to make it my own, but I kind of wanted to incorporate like a little bit of, what my favorite artist did. So like if in the first verse, you can kind of hear a little bit of like a Mace cadence, but then, like I try to switch it back to myself towards the end. But I think it's very important to just always like, go to the root, because that's where music was like at its best and timeless. And, even to this day, you could play a song from 40 years ago and it's going to feel new.
So if you could put together your ultimate show with 3 acts, any time frame, dead or alive, who would be in it? You, of course, and what other 3 acts?
Me, of course. I'll headline it. Mace for sure, Busta Rhymes, and I just gotta say Nipsey. That's like literally my favorite artist today.
Okay. Some horns off for you. So with that, right? Will you be touring soon with the release of your EP? What are your plans as far as that?
We are working on putting together a tour. We've been reaching out to a couple cities and just trying to like, figure out how to navigate that. So it's definitely in the plans, definitely in the works. I plan to be doing some of that for sure sometime this year.
What are your thoughts towards live performance? Because one of the sort of knocks that people give as far as performers of this current era is that their visual performances don't match up with the music.
Performance is the most important part of music to me. Like, I love hearing myself back, but my favorite thing about music has always been performing and then putting on a good show, like bringing the energy and like kind of like giving that to people. So I think the performance part of it is the most important aspect. And that's, I think it's bad that their performances are not as good just because that's where you make most of your money. So if people don't want to show up to see you, you kind of like it playing a losing game.
You really are. Well, when we come forward, we're going to have more with Heir The Prophecy. We're also going to get into these audio files of Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and are they ripping jokes off? We're going to talk about all of that on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Really ain't changed yet. Always talking big and be broke in the same breath. I don't understand that. I don't like girls messy. I don't play about my money. I need a bag for these goals like Messi. I need 6 feet deep if you really won't test me. 6 feet like you sick or it's gonna get messy. Real recognize real. I've been turning down deals. It ain't nothing that appeals. Real recognize real. I've been hearing that you hating. I don't care how you feel. You know who I am. I don't waste time. You gon' need more friends. I don't waste time. I'ma need my ends. If you talking about a bag, I'ma spin that Benz. I'ma spin that coupe. Driving top down like I lost my roots. My Jill snake skin. I spend a lot on shoes. I spend a lot on jewels. I spend a lot on you. Can't make me wait no more. I'm too cold.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Police have confirmed a 6th grade student is dead after an active shooter event at an Iowa high school. It happened during the first day back for students at Perry High School, which is around 40 miles northwest of Des Moines. There are also a handful of gunshot victims who are in the hospital. The 17-year-old shooter, who was a student there, took his own life and also left behind an explosive device that was defused. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds said their hearts are heavy and gave her condolences. The president of the Salt Lake branch of the NAACP is running for the State House of Representatives. Longtime civil rights activist Janetta Williams filed to run to represent House District 26. Williams, who is black, is challenging Republican Representative Matt McPherson. State House District 26 is considered one of the most competitive seats in Utah. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, pursuing justice through participatory democracy. Listen to KBLA Talk 1580, Saturday morning, January 13th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for an exclusive forum featuring the candidates for LA County District Attorney. Join KBLA's Tavis Smiley as he helps navigate what promises to be a forum full of fire when the candidates trying to unseat current LA DA George Gascon come together on stage on the campus of the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. Again, it's the LA County District Attorney Forum, live, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580, Saturday morning, January 13th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Helping to raise your civic IQ. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
There's only a few days left for open enrollment, starting at $0 a month. LA Care Covered offers the benefits you need to achieve your health goals. $0 preventive services, 24/7 virtual care and nurse advice lines, walk-in minute clinics, free fitness and nutrition classes, and more. Become a member of LA's most affordable health plan. Get a free instant quote at lacarecovered.org. Have open enrollment questions? Connect with us today at 855-222-4239. Find your affordable path to wellness with LA Care Covered today.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions because we've got your black. Listen up. If you're one of the more than 100,000 California tenants who were rejected or delayed when applying for COVID rental assistance, you've got a second chance. Under the terms of a new settlement, California's Housing and Community Development Department agreed to audit its past denials. The program ended in March 2022, but the advocacy groups Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, Policy Link, and Strategic Actions for a Just Economy sued the department. According to the coalition's analysis of state data, the department rejected nearly 30% of all applicants. Under the settlement, the department agreed to clear all renters in the pipeline within 6 months. The settlement applies to anyone who sought assistance from the state's Housing is Key program before April 1st, 2022, whose applications is pending or was denied after June 6, 2022. Tenants who have questions about the status of their application can call the hotline at 833-430-2122. That's 833-430-2122. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Happy holidays from the LA County Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. The LA County Rent Relief Program assists landlords with unpaid rent expenses in LA County, not including the city of LA. Landlords could be eligible for a grant of up to $30,000 per unit. To learn more or to apply, visit lacountyrelief.com.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey, I am D.L. Hughley, host of the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show, heard weekdays from 2 to 4 exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. I promise to make you think a little, but laugh a whole lot more. So tune in to the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show 2 to 4 only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You ready, Mace?
Party people in the place to be. It's about that time for us to.
Yeah, what you know about going out? Head west, red legs, TVs, all up in the headrest. Try and live it up, rock jewel, bigger truck, piece all glittered up, stick a kid looking what? Jig with a cut, sip crisp, spit it up. Rock, get your nut till I can't get it up. I'm a big man, get this man room. I done hit everything from Cancun to Grand Tune. Why you stand on the wall, hand on your... Lighting up drugs, always fighting in the club. I'm the reason they made the dress code. They figure out what and why when I'm in my fresh clothes. Dresses, I suppose, from my neck to my toes. Neck full of gold, but in my rolls. Rec shows, collect those extra O's. By the E, get a key to the Lex to hold. East, west, every state, come on, bury the hate. Millions, the only thing we in the hurry to make. Whether from the ex-friend, intellect, or bins. Let's begin, bring this BS to an end. Come on.
Bad, 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 bad boy. You make me feel so good. You know you make me feel so good. You know you make me feel so good.
Don't you just want a Harlem Shake? I know you do. Put your shiny suit on. Let's get the bombs exploding off in Vegas. Come on. Katt Williams video extravaganza. We only had good memories about the bad boy era. Listen, welcome back in to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. You heard Mace. That was in support of our in-studio guest, Heir The Prophecy. He said that Mace was one of his influences early, you know, when he was tapping in, getting his vibe going. So, once again, you have to tell us, EP coming in March.
EP coming March, comes with Envy.
Comes with Envy. Right now, Spend a Lot.
Spend a Lot.
Available on all streaming platforms. And the single that's dropping in February?
Stanley Earl.
Stanley Earl. You got to, okay. A little bit. Tell us a little bit. What's that?
Oh, man. Stanley Earl, he's that's just somebody you got to search on YouTube. He was just this old guy talking crazy. And kind of like when I heard it, I was like, man, it was like, I don't know. I just wanted to make something around it. I was like, this old guy's a legend. And so I kind of put something together, and the song is fire.
It's fire?
It's fire.
So you ready? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Listen, Andy, you look like you were about to hop in with something.
Nah, I'm just trying to help my brother out, you know what I'm saying? So, Heir, right?
Heir, yes, sir.
How do you spell it? I mean, I know, but for those
right.
who might be illiterate.
Right, for those who don't know, H-E-I-R.
And that is, I hope you guys know this. I'm assuming that you do, but for the ones that don't, perhaps you know, not Heir like Air Jordan Majesty, right? Heir like the coming of, or let me let you explain it, because I'm just dropping my own interpretation, which is probably right, but not exact.
So the full name is Heir The Prophecy. It's just really a play on words to inherit the future, but really like to inherit the future of the music industry, and like really whatever vision I have after that.
As far as it can take you.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us here on RSVP with Jill Munroe. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Spend a lot on it. Download the single. Put some coin behind it. Show support.
Yes,
we appreciate you for checking us out. Well, wait, I did not ask you. What's on your current playlist before we let you go?
Oh, man. My current playlist.
2 songs.
Okay.
Not your own.
Yeah, not my own. I like Misunderstood by Big Sad and Ghetto Superstar by Roddy Ricch.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're feeling that. Well, listen, while we get into some more trending topics and headlines, we're going to start you off a little bit, because I know that we've been talking about Katt Williams all day and his commentary, but in the meantime, a few, not all, but a few of the comedians mentioned have responded, and the internet has responded even harder. They have pulled up receipts to back up some of Katt's claims. So the first thing that I want to introduce and bring to your attention is there was an interview with a comedian named Mark Curry, you know, hanging with Mr. Cooper, Mark Curry. And he claimed, it was actually on Fox Soul, I believe in 2019, where he claimed on the Mike and Donnie show that Steve Harvey stole a Halloween joke from him and used his entire bit regarding something that personally happened to him as a child. He said he took it so personally because not only, you know, was it a bit that was stolen, but it was something that actually happened to him. Steve Harvey said there was a TMZ interview a couple of years ago where Steve Harvey said he doesn't know why Mark Curry's talking like that. He hadn't been on stage since 2015. 2015 is when Mark Curry alleges that Steve took the joke, and it was on his talk show, the Steve Harvey Show, where he ran it down. So what we're going to do for you right now is we are going to play Mark Curry's joke and let you hear that, and then we're going to follow it up with Steve Harvey's joke, and you tell me how you feel about the situation and what you think.
Halloween was a trip. Halloween, we couldn't afford no Halloween costumes. Hey, kids, please. Mama sent us down to the liquor store, put boxes on us. We didn't know what we were. I don't know what we are. I don't know. She didn't tell us. I think we UPS, I guess. I don't know.
So that's Mark Curry's joke, right? You got it? All right, now let's go into 2015 on the Steve Harvey Show, Halloween episode.
You've heard me say that every Halloween I had the same outfit on. Every year. I just had a brown box. I wasn't nothing sad. I asked my father, could I have a new outfit? And he said, no, just wear the same one. It was just a brown box. And he just told me to tell everybody I was a UPS man.
So, I don't know. Sounds like the same joke to me. Again, we are all at times inspired by other people. You know, we take inspiration from people that are in front of us. Sometimes we have similar and shared experiences. But this seems like a little more complicated. As I said, Mark Curry said that joke in 1999, 1998. So that's enough time that, in theory, the average person would have forgotten about that. But see, the internet and video and all of this digging back has got some people in a twist. Heir, do you think that comedy is something that could be, because obviously you write your lyrics, and we see things like interlopes and things of that nature where, you know, a hot line is borrowed. We know Jay-Z said, you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. Mm-hmm. Absolutely true.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I think it kind of just goes back to, like, you know, drawing inspiration from the roots, but I think it's just too much ego involved. Like, some people are afraid to say, like, I was inspired by this, or, you know, like, give somebody the credit for, like, you know, where it came from, and say, like, hey, like, that moved me and I wanted to bring it back.
I wanted to re-rock it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think so. And I think that there is even a way that Steve could co-opt it. Maybe, you know, not the exact way. If he had a similar experience, I'm not going to say that he is outright lying or that did not happen to him. I don't know.
Right.
You know, there's jokes right now on TikTok and the internet about, you know, I'm a black mother and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they're all things that a lot of people can relate to in growing up. So who's to say that there aren't similar experiences? However, to your point, inspiration can be acknowledged. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that we would be better served overall if we gave a little more to that. Look, we want to thank Heir The Prophecy from checking in with us tonight. When we come forward, we're going to get into Cedric the Entertainer, and if he also was borrowing or taking inspiration from a couple of jokes. And once again, the internet has the receipts. So we'll play those for you and let you make the decision. All of that and more on the other side. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the AmeriCAN Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the AmeriCAN program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The AmeriCAN Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriCANCommunity.partners. That's AmeriCANCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we mentioned last night was Catastrophe, and Katt Williams blew up the internet with his interview on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharpe. You know, it was so much that people on the internet were saying Shannon Sharpe in his podcast, Club Shay Shay, is nothing more than a Carisha Please for men. You know that men like gossip, but they like it covered differently. They refer to it differently. I think that might be a little true, you know. However, Carisha did not take too kindly to that. She was like, you guys need to stop bringing up her name and any and everything. But Cedric the Entertainer, thus far, he has not responded to, he has? Oh, I haven't seen Cedric's interview. Okay, well, we're going to look at that. But in the meantime, you know, they're bringing up Katt's beef with him, you know, that they allegedly squashed at one point. But then Cedric went on Club Shay Shay and said that it never happened. So I guess that's what set Katt off on that particular one, because obviously he lined him up, watched each interview, and then went into each point and was like, and we're going to address this. But that's neither here nor there. It caused people to look at more jokes. And so this is a joke that Cedric the Entertainer told in 2020. And it is alleged that he borrowed or took inspiration from a joke that was said on a TV comedy from the 80s. So first we'll listen to Cedric's joke.
Everybody around here call me Bominicious. It's fine. You call me that. Don't even worry about it. Everybody call me Bominicious. Everybody call you Bominicious. Yeah, everybody in the whole city call me Bominicious. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. You call me that. Don't even worry about it. Bominicious. This is what everybody call. Yeah, everybody call me that, man. Don't worry about it. I'm like, all right. So all week long, my ass talking about Bominicious. What up, boy? Hey, Bominicious, you gonna run around, come over and watch the game with us later on? Hey, Bominicious, run to the store, grab some beer, come on back. My cousin said, what you calling him? Buminicious. He said, everybody call him Buminicious. It's all right for me to call him that. Like, nah, man, his name's CJ. He's saying you could call me by my initials. That's what he's saying.
That's funny, right? I laughed. So there was a show called Designing Women that came on CBS back in the 80s. It starred Delta Burke. I just blanked on the rest of the cast, but there was a gentleman that was on the show as well named Meshach Taylor, the only black man on the cast. And this is a bit that was told on the series, I think back in around 1987, 88. So let's listen.
That I could answer that question is by telling the Bominicious story. It's a true story. See, there was this white family lived in Mississippi, and they had this man who worked for them occasionally named Bominicious. Now, he did various small jobs for them on and off for about a week. One night, he had just finished bartending a party, and the lady of the house realized that she didn't have any money. So she said to him, Bominicious, I want to write you a check, but I don't know how to spell Bominicious. And he said, well, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. See, when I came to work for you, I told you my name, and then I said, but you can call me by my initials.
So, listen, same joke. Delivery was different. Same joke, though. And again, you take inspiration from a lot of different things. We all are inspired by at different times. But I don't know. I don't know how, because again, this is something that we've had to work through as far as hip hop. And did someone write their own song? Does that make them less legitimate? Does it make them less authentic? In comedy, joke stealing is a serious thing amongst comedians, right? We, as the audience, may not always know. Comedians at various points have had writers. Even the greats, Richard Pryor, had writers that wrote for him. I just blanked on his name. He passed away not that long ago. Great comedy writer, great comedian, was one of Richard's writers. I'm going to think of his name and circle back to it. I'm blanking right now. Paul Mooney. That's who it is. Paul Mooney wrote for Richard Pryor. There's several people that have written for comedians. So from that aspect, it is not something that is unheard of. But literally taking someone else's joke and not paying for it, I guess, or being compensated or asking, I don't know, gets kind of tricky in that situation. So Michael Blatson, he responded on Twitter, and listen, he said, I can't believe this lying dehydrated leprechaun said he told me to build a school. Laughing out loud. I only built a free school so the kids can help whoop your butt for free, mother sucker. Some people remarked that it's ironic that Katt Williams accused Michael Blackson of using a fake African accent and he's still moving forward with the mother sucker, but that's his trademark. That's like his thing. It's his calling card. He also said Katt is definitely a top 10 comedian of all time and a top 5 alive, but we all have to agree that he's not the Katt of 2005. He said his top 10 black comedians alive are Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, Martin Lawrence, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps, Cedric, Earthquake, and himself at number 10. He said he's also confused as an African how he can have a fake African accent when his accent had him roasted every day in school and in the comedy clubs in America. He said he wished he could get rid of it. Even his Philly accent is fake. He said the one thing real about him is his eggplant. He said he's never been booed either, but he's watched Katt get booed in 2 cities, including Cincinnati, which is messed up because that's where he's from. So he's like, it's messed up when people boo you at home. That was his response to it. Ricky Smiley, he talked about it on his radio show this morning. He doubled down that he auditioned for the role of Money Mike, that Katt Williams came in and obviously blew the audition away, and it was his role, and he thinks that it served him well to play that role. But he also said that, he thinks that he wants to wish Katt peace and blessings and love. And, he doesn't understand why he's out here jumping out the window like this. He doesn't want the smoke. He's not trying to delve into all of that. He's just like, look, all love, you can have it. I stand by my fact that I auditioned for Money Mike and we made the switch. If something else happened, God bless, and I wish you healing. So, that's respect, that's love, and, just let him stand without it. Kevin Hart, he tweeted, he said, "Gotta get that anger up out ya, champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days. There is a moment in the trailer where I can't pronounce this actress's name and I don't want to jack it up, so I'll come back to it. Says, they really love you. I now know she's talking about Katt. Mark your calendars. This one is special." And, it's an action movie. Kevin is an action comedic rock star in this, and we'll have to see how it does. But that was his message. Check out my next thing coming up. Listen, Ludacris, he fired back as well. He said that a freestyle, he dropped one, and it did take aim at the commentary. He basically said in there that comedians need to check their temperature. He also mentions that he has a Jesus pendant, so don't be trying to put that Illuminati on him, and that when he was born, he was swaddled in Gucci linens. He said he's never been Illuminati. He only left the party with chicks. And he said now he's married with kids. That's the evolution of life. He's not a clout chaser doing it for likes. So, you could go check that out. It's a lot of profanity. We weren't bleeping tonight or editing that. But check it out. So he's seemingly saying the same thing. Check my numbers, man. I run this and I'm not worried about you. And I think that is probably the best approach to take, right? Steve Harvey, we probably won't hear anything from Steve regarding that. I can't imagine. And, Gary Owen came out and said thank you. So we'll have to see. Listen, when we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. We're going to get into Whoopi Goldberg. She says, shame on you guys for trying to put her name on this Epstein list. And more on some reactions from the documents that were released. All of that on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580 News and Sports. Up next.
People with short money. Come on now.
Bad boy. Yeah. You make me feel so good.
Come on.
You make me feel so good. You know you make me feel so good.
That's what we do.
Bad
Yeah.
boy. I wouldn't change you if I could. I wouldn't change you if I could.
Come on.
I wouldn't change you if I could.
Yeah. Dumae's got the ladies. Do Puff drive Mercedes. Take hits from the 80s.